Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good.
Been a good week?
It has been a good week. Kids are in, so that helps to make it a good week. I get the whole family's here. We're catching up with the project we're working on, and everybody's getting to add their 2 cents in while they're standing there, and so that's very good.
Now, when you say add their 2 cents,
Yes.
are we talking 2 cents?
No, I write. No.
Oh, okay.
They
No.
get to voice their opinions.
Their common sense.
Yes.
Or their, yeah.
Sometimes I wonder about that too, but
They're watching this,
They get
Bob.
they probably will be, but they they get to add their thoughts
input.
and things on there. Yeah, and we're
'Cause it affects
flexible
them.
because it does exactly. So we're very flexible and say okay, that's fine.
My older brother used to have a saying. He said, blessed are the flexible, for they don't get bent out of shape.
That's very true.
Right.
That's good. I like that. Got to be.
And as mom and dad, you got to be flexible because the kids are they're kind of taking over things.
They are. As
much as you
it'll
hate
be
to
there
say it.
as much as we hate to admit it. Yep. Their time is a little closer than we want to admit.
Yeah. They have a little more of that than we do.
So you have to be comfortable for them so that they're not going, why did they do this?
Yeah. Why didn't we get to tell them?
Yeah.
Well, you did. So speak up. Now's the time, guys. Speak up.
For everybody. Not
Yeah.
just my
Not
guys.
just y'all.
Not just my guys. No,
No.
for everybody's guys
Yeah,
and girls.
And let's talk about that because when it comes time for grandma and grandpa or mom and dad, if they're getting up in the age,
Yep.
the kids or the grandkids that happen to be here, helping them through a move, need to tell them, said, look, grandma or grandpa, I know you're holding on to this widget for me. I really don't want it.
Yep. That's the biggest thing, Bob.
Because they think you want it.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they're
yeah.
holding on to it.
Right.
In reality is they don't care if it goes to the auction or if it goes to the dumpster.
Right.
But they think you need it because you've always paid a lot of attention to it. But
And
save them that.
Just be upfront. Exactly. Be upfront with them with that there's things that you've acquired with that in mind. That, I'm going to leave this little Susie. I'm going to leave this great China set to little Susie. Little Susie,
she's got her own.
she's
China
got
set.
her own stuff. They've got their own house. They've got their own apartment or whatever, but they've got their stuff that they're acquiring for the same thing. But you can't. You want to live your life, so you want to have the kids come down. We tell people when we go for the first interview, have the kids come down, have them take the things that they want, that you're definitely not going to take with you, that you're kind of saving for them, and make them take it with them. Not say, oh yeah, I want
When
that.
I go,
Yeah.
when I go, you can have that. No.
Yeah.
While you're here, before you go, put it in your car.
Right. And see if they really want it.
Yeah. Because at that point, no, I really.
Because they're trying to be nice, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not trying to be the grouch who stole,
That's my job.
Yeah, exactly. Part of it. But you want to be truthful with stuff because as you're packing things up, and there's an expense to moving, there's just the process of moving and going and unmoving, and pack it up, pack it out. That's a project, and it's hard for people as it is to pack everything up and go. Do the decluttering and picking the piles of where stuff's got to go. We see, it seems like we've just had a streak of that as of late, where people just they can't say goodbye to the stuff, or they're just so. More importantly, they're so overwhelmed. You go into the garage with them, and it's packed, and they haven't even started to pack to move. Some of these boxes haven't been open since they moved in.
there. Right.
So you want to kind of take a look at some of that, because very few people, as we get a little older, go from a small house to a big house. So generally everybody's downsizing. Well, the only way you can downsize is to get rid of some of the stuff, and some of it you got to be. Is how practical is it? If you're a machinist and you've got tools that you've used over the years, but now the arthritis is kicked in and the elbow hurts and you can't get the things done the way you did, the eyes are starting to go.
Easy, Duck.
You want, well, but you got them fixed. That's what you do. I got mine fixed. But as far as being able, can you still do what you used to do when you were 40, when you were 50, when you were 60 for that matter? And be realistic about that and say, much as I want to, I know that I can't use this stuff again, and then we have people come in, we sell the stuff off. That's not a Bob thing. That's a client, and the people that we recommend, you use whoever you want. But the idea is for you to clear that stuff out that way and be done with it, and then you can move on. Because if it's not standing there, I sometimes there's some stuff laying around my place, and it's like it's kind of mocking me that
You're telling all this advice, and why aren't you
exactly,
doing what you're saying?
yeah. And that's just life.
Because when you get done with the new place, then all that stuff that you've been holding on for the boys goes to their house.
Exactly, and that's fine. And then they can have it, or they can say no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
So I picked up an extra safe along the way, so that's going to go. Those are things like that. I have a tendency to look at bigger, longer-term practical things than knickknacks and little vignettes and things like that.
Yeah, I had to sign a contract with my kids that I won't die before my garage is clean.
That'd be okay if we do that, Bob, but we don't.
No, it don't work.
It doesn't work like that, and it's tough. It's tough for the spouse. We always think that we're going to go first. The guys always think that we're going to go first because the actuaries tell us that as well. But when sometimes we get surprised, and dealing with guys are worse than because they can't get rid of anything.
Well, I'm going to use that one.
all these little, but all the stuff from the wife that the wife had collected over the years. And here's all these Hummels, up on shelves on the walls and things like that. And he just can't.
That meant so much to Susie. I can't get rid of it.
And the thing is, it was the hunt was what meant so much to people when they were looking for that one. I'm looking for the 1967 girl in a farm, whatever, and got it, and it's great. The stuff isn't worth anything. There's all of these flea markets are full of these things, but it was for you, and it was you got it, and that was the big part of it.
Right.
And now you got to move on.
Yeah. Speaking of moving on,
Yes, sir.
You have a sheet of paper over there that
Well,
talks about things, COVID.
We took a class as I have a tendency to do. I'm going to Hot Springs during the week to go to the state convention for realtors and go to classes there and keep up with current events and things that are going on. And how can we be better? How can we serve better? And one of the things that came up was we're in a post-COVID era. COVID's done. We're never going back to that again. And as you look at the numbers from 19, which was the last normal year, to 25, it's just about the same. Now, you get all the stuff in COVID where this went up and that went down and everything else. But as far as the time on market, the number of homes that are available for sale, doing real estate, talking to people and talking them through and negotiating things, helping to get deals done. It's not a matter of being able to sit back and say, yeah, well, just bring me all your offers and we'll pick and maybe we'll let you know. That ship has sailed. That's done. And some of the agents don't really know how to deal with that. It was they came in, well, things were nuts. Well, that was an outlier for the 4 years that we've gone through this between interest rates, the prices of just being, kind of nutsy especially for the small area that we are. When you look at that, now you're looking at it countrywide, and there's a big difference with where we were in 22, 23 than where we are now. The interest rates have changed dramatically. Historically, interest rates at 8% were good. My counter to that is that the cost of the houses weren't as much, but it still balances out. That's where we are. And the interest rates are down. They're down like in the mid-low sixes right now. So now's really a good time because for the number of houses that we've got, it's really a good thing to do. But, one of the things that came up was, one, you can't time the market. You can't say, well, we're gonna wait for it to drop another eighth of a point, and then you don't know when or if that's going to happen. You got to keep your paperwork up. There's a lot of stuff you got to do. But the market right now is about, for buyers, it's about choice because they have a lot more choices that they can make. They can go and look at 8, 10 houses sometimes, depending upon what it is they're looking for. And for sellers, it's about the competition. You want to be sold. You want to move on with the next phase of your life. That's the important part. That's why you called us. You want to sell your house. The market decides where we are. And I say that all the time. A home is priced by what is sold. The comps don't lie. That's what the market's going to give you. Bob doesn't make these numbers up. When I'm sitting at the table, when Linda's sitting at the table, we don't just pull these numbers out of thin air. We do our homework. Mm-hmm. This 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this neighborhood, there's been 2 others that have sold in the past 18 months. So that's kind of, you get that far out, the appraisers won't generally take them. But you can show this is what they sold for. You may want this, but the best you're going to get is this, because when the new buyer comes, when the buyer for your house comes, they're going to get a mortgage. When they get their mortgage, you're going to have the appraiser come through. When the appraiser comes through, he's going to decide how much it is. Mm-hmm. And then that opens up a whole new can of worms. Dealing with inspections. A lot of times there were places that were sold that weren't inspected even. We'll buy it as is. Mm-hmm. Bob, no, we didn't do any of those. You're going to, or if you're so smart, you're going to sign this release saying, Bob told me to get the home inspected. Because people come back and we'll go to now on a listing appointment, and it's a home that they bought in 21, not through us, and they'll say, well, yeah, we had to fix this, we had to fix that, we had to do this and do that, and all that stuff added up. So now they want to get all their money back. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't get all that money back. You make it more. It increases the saleability. But it's not, you don't get dollar for dollar back for money that you had to put into it.
Yeah, sometimes you pay a stupid tax.
There's fees for that, for thinking that you're,
smarter than the average.
You want to kind of stick with your realtor who knows what they're doing, who's been doing this for a while. And you want to make sure that you're on the right path for this. You got to be realistic with things. That's where we are right now in the market.
Let's take a look at this week's numbers.
Because there's a lot of houses out there. This week in real estate, there were, come on, you were just open? There we are. This week in real estate, there were 62 new listings came on the market, 5 commercial properties, 10 parcels of land, but 47 homes came on the market. They range in price from $27,000 to $1 million. 2 of them are taking backups. There were 31 sales, 3 commercial properties, 13 parcels of land, 18 homes sold, which is really down from, so I'm going to guess it was some sort of outlier for that 5 weeks ago. 18 homes sold, ranging in price from $299,000 to $34,000. So the average sale price this week was $197,000. With 72 days on market, stuff's still going quick. Stuff that's ready to go is going. 8 properties expired. There were 37 residential price changes. Currently, we have 535 homes listed on the MLS. 214 of those are in Mountain Home. Year to date for 2025, there's been 801 homes have sold. The average sale price has been $253,000 with 93 days on market. Last year, there had been 807 homes that sold. Average sale price was $244,000 with 91 days on market. So, market is changing, and we're going back to more normal real estate, and it's probably good. There was when we were going through the silly season with some of this stuff, people were not making good, clear decisions, and I think just the realization that COVID's over, we're not going back. Rates are down in the 6s, I could say low 6s. All depends on your credit scores and things like that, but they're much better than they were when they were tapping 8. So there'll be a lot of refis going on, I'm sure. So we'll start to run into that at the closing companies. As far as being able to close within 30 days, we might get pushed back to 45 because they're now dealing with refis. That's gonna affect the market somewhat too. But there's great opportunities out there, And if you're looking to buy, now's really is the time to do it. Give my honey a call. She's at 870-405-0793. Check out the website, retired2arkansas.net. And really, whether you're buying or selling, we've been through it all. We were here in '08. We've been through, recession or two, and you just roll with it and you help people make good decisions. That's our job, is to help people make good, informed decisions.
That has been This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zadora. 870-405-0793 is their number. Retiredarkansas.net is their website. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.